Hello and welcome to Colleague 7 Sprint Review for 20.02.01. This will cover the work undertaken between the 4th of February to the 17th of February. Our sprint goal for this sprint has been to finalise the back office workflow required to bulk email invoices from Colleague 7, including all associated documents. Looking at the high-level items and to explain further, in this sprint, we've been working on finalising the back office workflow within list invoices so that a user can select one or more invoices and email these to the invoice contact along with any and all associated documents. I'll give a demo on this shortly. As part of our portal integration project, we've updated our API with a login process. This allows a third party to pass username and password details to colleague in an attempt to find a matching candidate record and with all necessary security precautions taken. We've updated the interview process so that it gives the option to add multiple contacts to the interview as a participant. These participants are then included in associated emails. We've removed a restriction which prevents the user from saving a search in the event that the criteria or result count has not changed. This was in part due to the fact that sometimes this feature would get it wrong and should have let you save the search anyway. We've been investigating issues with histories duplicating that is causing concern, and we now have a plan for how we're going to resolve this. We've added the email form to the quick search results area. This allows users to press on an email address and instantly start typing an email. And we've added the ability to select the column options from the quick search results area for ease of use. We'll now go for a brief demonstration on the key features from this sprint. Okay, so the first point we'll go through is the updates we've made to the quick search. So the quick search has been updated both in functionality but also in searching technique as well in terms of weighting. So just to explain that, with regards to searching now, when you are running a search, if you're searching on the basis of a name, we've weighted the name now so it doubles up on the weighting of a name. So previously when you were doing a search, such as, for example, David Payne, if you're doing a search, if you had a David Payne record, but you also had a guy called David Smith, but he lived in Payne Street, the matches that would be found on those records would kind of equal out the same ranking because the same elements have been found against that record. Whereas what we've done now is have it so that if you match and you find someone and it's a hit on the name will give preference and the name will be sorted higher in the ranking order. So you'll see here, I mean, obviously this is a test system, so there's multiple David Paynes in the system, but the further we go back along the searches, you'll find scenarios of people that either have variances of the name, but also associated placements and offers and whatnot. But the name record, the physical record associated to the name will be the highest ranking. The other elements that we delivered as part of this sprint were to do with the email form and also the options. So we wanted to do this as part of the previous sprint, but we've just run out of time, and that is that deciding actually physically which fields you see within the quick search were defined by options from the selection screens. These are now available off here, so you can just hit options there, and then you've got the different entity types available from within the selection screen search, so you can just click through and select which fields that you see associated to which record, and then when you hit back it will obviously honor those fields that you want to see within the quick search. The other element that we did is incorporated the email form into the quick search, so now all emails are also links as well, and if you click on an email address it's going to load the email form. So if you want to send an email quickly to a record, you can look them up and just essentially click on the email address and send the email, and it will just quickly send it like that. So those were the updates that we made to the quick search as part of this sprint. The next point to go through, and it's the first part of a two-part development piece that was done over the course of this sprint, and that's the ability to attach associated documentation to a timesheet or charge. So when you're within a second level authorized contract or rolling contract placement, with the timesheet and timesheets and charges tabs, what you're able to do now on creation of the timesheet, you'll be able to see an option for show documents, and that basically allows you to add new documents and attach documents to the timesheet record. The idea being is that if you have an associated either spreadsheet or scanned document that's perhaps been signed off, or some form of associated supporting document in relation to the timesheet, you would attach it to this area so that you can reference it when you go about generating the invoice, which we'll come to next. So against timesheets and charges, you can now attach associated documentation to those. So moving on to the second part of the development piece in this sprint, and that is the updates that we made within the list invoices area within back office, so you can now email invoices. So within the back office area, which again is accessible on the basis of user group permissions, within list invoices, which will be a list of all the invoices you generated against a specific invoice date, you have the means now to email invoices. So you can either do this in bulk or you could do it individually, but ultimately what it's going to be looking to do is send emails to the invoice contacts that are associated with the invoice records. So if I hit email invoices, what you can see there is it loads the email form. I'll select a template. So if we select a contract invoice template there, and then what we have is the option to attach supporting documents, which is the component that we've recently added that was covered as part of that first part of the video. So if we hit yes on there, what that will do is it will attach any supporting documents linked with the timesheet or charge that's associated with the invoice. So the two can be sent as a pair, or sent as many as supporting documents as you've attached, of course. You can set up contact-based invoice templates, and also be aware that a new history type has been created for invoice email out, so you can track specific emails that have been sent out on the basis of containing an invoice. You then hit send there, and the invoice will be sent out via the background service queued, so it will come through, and when it comes through, it will look, yeah, it's come through now. When it comes through, it will look like this. So you've got the associated invoice, and then you've got the associated supporting document linked with it, and then obviously if your email template there. So that covers sending a invoice through via email from within the list invoices area. The last point to go through is the update that we've made to the interview workflow from the requirement record. So when you're on a requirement off the candidates tab, and you're looking to run the interview workflow, what you're now able to do is basically assign multiple participants from the contact side to the interview. So essentially from this form, you have an additional plus option here to add an additional contact. You can add a contact there, and it will add the contact to the form, and that form will just grow and grow based on all the different participants that you wish to include in the interview. You have all of the associated contacts listed. What you'll have is some options here. If I hit save, what you'll have is some options here in terms of the sending of the confirmation email. So you have the option to send to a candidate, you have the option to send to a contact, you have the option to send to the candidate and the contact, which is the primary contact associated with the interview, the first one. And then you've got an option here for all participants, and all participants will ensure that the email that's generated is going to everyone that's associated with the interview. And then obviously your email templates can come through as you'd expect in that email. So that's the update that's been made as part of processing an interview against a candidate record. You can now essentially associate multiple participants. If we go through into the associated interview record, what you'll see is the participants are carried through into that interview record and listed here as well. So that's multiple participants against an interview. As always, if you have any queries or feedback, please get in touch. I'll be keen to hear from you. Also, for those using Colleague 7, feel free to submit your enhancement requests via the support team or directly to me using the above email address. The next video will be the sprint plan for 20.02.02, and as always, that will contain a high-level overview on the items we intend to work on during that sprint. Thanks for watching.